Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 3 of my best bets for tomorrow's racing, where we'll be focusing over in France. Now before I give you those selections, I just want to say it was a great day for us in the end. Our Longshot won, Augustine at Moulins. It won at 16 to 1, which was advertised last night for Axel Nicot. She's a brilliant young jockey coming through the ranks, an apprentice jockey, and she's able to claim so much of an allowance, especially in those claiming races. Where she's been seen to good effect. She's done me a couple of good favours already. I've had a 40 to 1 winner, a 16 to 1 winner obviously today, and the money was down for this horse not long before the off. I don't know if that was you guys putting your mortgages on, but yeah, she went off at 9 to 2, this horse. And yeah, bolted up, and there was no doubt about it really. This horse ran the way that I expected it to, was handy, just off the pace, sat off the leader for most of the way, and then when his turn came to hit the front, just extended his lead and won by about 7 or 8 lengths in the end. It was a really nice performance. And yeah, it was a brilliant effort, and I hope some of you are on that. Our other 2 selections, I'm not going to be complaining about them, to be honest with you. Our Nap Silver Poker was too far off the pace in the end. That was maybe that's just his running style, and things just didn't fall for him today. The race didn't suit, but I wouldn't give up on him. Maybe in a handicap next time he could spring a surprise. But yeah, Silver Poker, I'm not done with him yet. I think he definitely has a win in him at some point. And then our Nap as well, unfortunately just couldn't get involved. Levant for Jean-Claude Rouget probably needed the run, was at the back of the field, and the jockey, he didn't give it a hard time. But nonetheless, it still was a very profitable day, and it's nice to have a big price winner. You don't get a 16 to 1 winner every day. And I just hope some of you were on at some nice double figure prices, because there was plenty of double figure prices available even an hour before the race. So there's no excuses really, unless you got on at the last minute, to not have got a nice little price and a nice win out of that. So I hope some of you are on, and hopefully we can continue that form tomorrow. Now we're going to start with my long shot tomorrow in the 2:15 at Clairefontaine with a horse called Heaven's Night. Now this horse is currently 8 to 1 with bookmakers at the moment, and there are some firms playing 5 places out there, so if you can get the extra place, I'd really recommend to search for that. But this horse is trained by Michael Soror, who's a good dual purpose horse. He's probably more known as a jumper, but he has some nice flat horses as well. And Felix de Giles, familiar names, ridden over here, especially in the cross country a few times in his career, is booked for the ride. Felix de Giles, he rides quite a few for this stable, and I think this horse has a really good chance. Now, this horse finished 6th in a listed event at Auteuil last time out, and ran okay considering it's probably not capable of even really running to that grade, but this horse did dig deep and it was trying its hardest, and with credit at 66 to 1, it probably did a lot better than the connections were thinking. Now, this horse is going to be running in a handicap tomorrow. It's quite a nice handicap. There's good prize money on offer, 35,000 euros, I believe. So definitely a good earner for some of these horses here. But at the weights tomorrow, this horse is going to be running against a horse called Katie Love. Now, Katie Love had a bit more of a sexier profile and was quite well fancied to go well in that listed event. I think she was 4 to 1 favourite on the day, and our horse had to give quite a bit of weight, and there's going to be a 17 pool in the weight, a 17-pound pool in the weights tomorrow with this horse, and this Katie Love is going to be running and does have some good connections behind her. But with our horse now receiving the 17-pound swing, that's how I worked it out, there's going to be a big difference for this horse running in the handicap. And Felix de Giles, a good experienced jockey, is going to know how to get the best out of this horse. If you actually go back through this horse's prior runs, she's maybe not quite been the easiest to place, but running in a handicap now off a nice racing weight of 10 stone 5 suggests that this horse, I think, has got a good cracking chance, and I think should be favourite for this race. Bring some of the best bits of form on offer. There are 1 or 2 other rivals that could pose a threat, but Heaven's Night at 8 to 1, I think that looks outstanding value, and I really can't see this horse finishing outside the frame. So for me, a really strong long shot fancy tomorrow, but hopefully this horse can get the business done. We then wait for the evening card at Dieppe, and I'm going in the 7 o'clock here with my next best, with a horse called Eversweet. Now this horse is currently 5 to 2 with bookmakers at the moment, And this horse is trained by Frederick Rossi, who's Yardhoe in flying form, operating at a 25% strike rate. And Amber Moulins is booked for the race, claiming a handy £9, which is definitely an angle you've got to look at, especially obviously with our winner today. In these claimers, these £9, especially with the extra female lance, is such an advantage. And this horse got a good relationship with this jockey. She's won on him last twice and is going for a hat-trick tomorrow. Returned from a layoff to win the claimer at Vichy a couple of weeks ago. So this horse is in good form. And if you actually look back through some of its form this year, it's ran into horses called Misbelieve and Diva Du Dancing. Both those horses won on the card the other night at Leon Perilli. So there's a lot of good form lines with Eversweet. A lot of his form is standing up, and at 5-2 I think this is a hell of a price, and should be favourite in my opinion, even though Jack Corr, who's got form tied in with our Augustine, was a good winner for Henri Alex Pantel last time out. But I think Eversweet at the weights again is going to be better off, in form, good relationship with the jockey, and if you go back through its form, it's all working out really nicely. I think this horse has got to go very close tomorrow. So as my next best tomorrow, this is going to be one of my most solid options on the card. But we then go for my nap, which runs in the 7:30 with a horse. If I can actually read my own writing, I think it's called Made to Leave, but it'll be in the description box, the right name for the horse, but you'll know who I'm talking about when you look at when you hear my case for it. It's currently 5-4 with bookmakers at the moment, and is my nap. Now this horse is trained by Edouard Leon and Christophe Soumillons, but for the ride. Now if you actually look back through this horse's form, it's probably got some of the best form in the race. Was running in Pattern Company not so long ago in some Group 3s, some listed races, but obviously not suited to that. But dropping back down to this level should suit it. Ran a really good race and was just unlucky not to win at Saint-Cloud a couple of weeks ago. And that was definitely going to set the standard for this race, looking at the form. That is really strong form, and it's interesting as well. Christophe Soumillons keeps the ride. This isn't a particularly strong race. There's a lot of jockeys and a lot of apprentice jockeys in here that are in here for the ride, and he's pretty much the best rider in the field. Well, he is the best rider in the field, and there's not even some average jockeys in it. There's, like I say, a lot of apprentice jockeys in this race, so it's interesting that he's decided to keep on this horse. He must think that a win is due, and for me, this horse is going to be my nap tomorrow, and I can see it being the one they've all got to beat. So some strong fancies for me tomorrow. I'm not just saying that. I really do think that these horses have got some outstanding chances tomorrow, and there is some value to be had in their prices still. So if you can get on any of these tomorrow, I think surely there's got to be a couple of winners there. I'm quite confident about our chances tomorrow. So they're my 3 best bets on the card at Clairefontaine and Dieppe for tomorrow's racing in France. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. After Lucky Loaders 15, we'll be returning, hopefully, if we get the green light, for the UK racing on Monday, but we'll have my tips for the French Guineas as well. And maybe if sometimes there's nothing I fancy in the UK, I might stick the odd French horse in this format. We'll go back to 0 as well with the stats, and you can see the stats for May in the description box below. And once we start in June, I'll be publishing those on a monthly basis if I'm going to still do this, which I am planning to at the moment, on my website for the full results. So if you're one of those good people that like to look at the stats, they'll be on my website from the end of next month, so check out that. Also as well, you can follow me on social media as well. Best place to follow me is on Twitter, where you can follow me using my handle at LuckyLoaders15. Please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.